Wednesday Hump Day Morning Minute, milehighsports.com. Thanks for stopping by. Nate Lundy, Shawn Drotar, TJ feeling under the weather. We hope he's feeling better. Be back with us for a Thursday edition of the program. First things first, if you missed the radio show this morning, we had is it a bevy? Would you call it a plethora?
I think you could.
Pinata. Anyway, we had a lot of guests this morning, including Charles Davis from the NFL on Fox, Peter King of Monday Morning Quarterback, as well as our Wednesday visit with Chris Landry of the LandryFootball.com report. Charles Davis with some really good insight about Trevor Siemian. Peter King, who just did his latest Monday Morning Quarterback podcast, had Peyton Manning as a guest and had some interesting things to say and some interesting conversations with Peyton. And then, of course, our chat with Chris Landry talking about the CU Buffs, as well as both college and the pro, especially the AFC West as we sit at the quarter pole. So if you missed any part of that, check out the radio on demand section of milehighsports.com. Shawn, you are appropriately dressed with the colors. It is a Rockies wild card day. Did we learn anything in terms of managerial changes with your pitchers after watching that American League game last night?
Well, you learned that you don't want the Rockies to have to mess with that. If at all possible, you'd like to see Jon Gray pitch the way he's pitched in his last few road starts. He's been outstanding since the really end of July. He's been one of the best pitchers in the National League. So you want to see that continue for him. The key for Jon Gray, I think, tonight is to not do too much. He doesn't have to try to strike everybody out. It's like a batter who's overswinging, trying to hit home run on every pitch. Pitchers can do the same thing. You can try to throw too often, too hard, try to get too many strikes, trying to strike guys out, and then occasionally you put one in the middle for a Paul Goldschmidt or a JD Martinez, and you're in a bunch of trouble. So I think battling the nerves in his first ever postseason start for Jon Gray, put away all the offense, everything else. It's not along Jon Gray's shoulder, but that's got to be job one.
And I think that as you go into the first inning, and we see this in any kind of a playoff game, I mean, I hate to be able to point this out, but sometimes a lot of it you wind up finding out based on how that umpire is calling the strike zone. How much edge is he giving? How low does that strike zone go? How high does it go? And trying to get a feel for whether or not Jon Gray can paint those corners or place those pitches in exactly the spots where maybe the batters are hesitant to swing, but that Jon Gray's getting the calls. I'm going to be looking for that over the course of the first couple of innings as well. And most importantly, Shawn, what we have harped on all season long, no walks.
Right, can't allow the walks. Fortunately, Gray's been very good at that. He's been good at that against Arizona this season as well. Not as good as Zach Greinke, though, who in his 34 innings against the Rockies this season has struck out 37 Rockies and walked only 2. The Rockies, fortunately, as the team of strikes, they swing and miss too often. We know that. But fortunately, Greinke, even though it's a bad matchup for anybody, isn't the worst matchup for the Rockies because their aggressiveness at the plate is somewhat mitigated by the fact that Zach Greinke throws strikes at a high rate, as high as anybody in the National League. So there's an opportunity for the aggressive Rockies to maybe catch one early and throw Greinke off his game. They'll have to be aggressive from the get-go.
Well, people like to talk about Coors Field, but down there in Arizona, they give up a ton of home runs and doubles in that park. So let's see if the Rockies can put it together. We look forward to wrapping it up with you tomorrow morning, recapping the game, and our expectation of looking forward to a National League Divisional Series with the Dodgers. We'll talk about it with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Mile High Sports Radio. We thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your Wednesday. Enjoy the game. Go Rocks. For Shawn, I'm Nate. We'll see you.